Hello friends, my name is Ngum. Welcome to Ngum's Garden Possibilities. If this is your first time here, welcome and thank you for joining my channel. On this channel, we talk about gardening, cooking, and more. So if that's something that interests you, please remember to click on the notification bell and subscribe so you can get notified when we upload a new video. And to my returning subscribers, thank you for being here. We're continuing with our pepper planting series. If you haven't watched the first video, I will put it in the description below so you can check it out. We are going to up pot our peppers that we grew. It's about 3 weeks later and it's time to do that. So join me as we do so today. These are the sweet pepper varieties that I grew, started indoors, and it's about 3 weeks later. They are 2 to 3 inches in height and they have their true leaves. And it's time to put them into bigger pots so they can continue growing indoors until it's time to transplant them outside. I have the different labels here of the peppers that I grew, which helps me to identify what I'll be uppotting. So I'll bring you in closer so you can see what we are doing. But first, as you can see, I started my peppers in this seed starting tray, and there are different pepper varieties. All the seedlings, almost all of them germinated, but they are now competing for space and for nutrients. And let me bring you up close. If you can see right here, the root system is starting to develop, and you don't want that to get tangled with all the other plants. That would add more stress to the young plant, causing it to strain, and it won't be a healthy plant. Those are the reasons why I am putting the plants into individual pots so that each plant will be more healthy. It won't have competition for nutrients, decreased chances for the roots to get tangled, and you have an overall healthy seedling in the long run. In order to uppot my peppers, these are the things that I would need. A larger pot. This is a 3-inch pot with potting mix. You can moisten it right now, but I'm going to water from the bottom when I'm done. I will also need a plant label so I can label each pepper, a marker for my labels, and of course potting mix like I mentioned earlier, and that's about it. I'm going to select the healthy seedlings from this tray and transplant them into bigger pots. So I'm going to use my knife so I don't disturb the roots a lot. This is a Chinese red giant pepper, and the 2 tiny leaves here are called cotyledons. Those are the first leaves that form, and then the 2 bigger leaves here are the first true leaves. So the plant has its true leaves. It's about 2 to 3 inches tall, and it's time to transplant that. So I'm gonna dig that up gently. See the root system, it's still very good and it's not tangled, so a good time to put them in a bigger pot before they get longer and less stress on the plant. I have made a hole in my potting mix here. This is a 3-inch pot. At the center, put my plant in, cover, and that's it. At this point you can water this, but I'm gonna plant everything first and then water from the bottom. I'll do my second seedling. Again, a healthy root system. And then label. Always label as you go. You think you'll remember it, but you definitely forget. So all I did was put the name of the pepper and when it was planted. My next pepper is the giant Marconi. I would look for the healthier ones. There you go. If you notice, some of the colors of the leaves are purple and some of them have a yellow tinge. And what I read from my research is that the purple is from long periods of exposure to the grow lights. The recommendation is to do grow lights for 8 to 10 hours to mimic what they get outside in the natural environment. So I have corrected that. And the yellow tinge from underwatering, at some point we traveled, so the soil got really dry, which affected the plants. So that's why they have that color. But going forward, I've learned my lesson. Since this entire row is the same pepper, the giant Marconi, I have just one label right here. My next pepper is the King of the North. I have selected the healthiest plants from the pepper seedlings that I have here, and I've transplanted them into these trays right here. They are in bigger pots. And I have labeled each one. So in total we have 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24 different pepper plants in here. I have it in a very sturdy baking tray, so it'll be easy to carry. And all I'm gonna do from here is put some water at the bottom of the tray. I'll pour some water right in here, just regular tap water, and through the process of osmosis, the soil is going to suck up the water, and that's how my plants will be watered. It just controls the amount of water the plant will get. These will go back under the grow lights, and they will stay there until they are ready to be transplanted outside. That's when the soil temperatures are consistently above, I would say, 60 degrees, because peppers don't like the cold. So that's all that's needed. I won't even bother to, you don't want to add a lot of fertilizer to your plants at this stage. What I did was I put in some warm castings into the soil mix, a teaspoon in the soil mix, and that will be sufficient to give the plants nutrients until they are ready to go outside. Another thing that you can also do is use fish emulsion as nutrients for your seedlings, but you want to use less than the recommended amount because you're dealing with seedlings here as opposed to larger plants that are outside. Fish emulsion provides a lot of nutrients like nitrogen to your plants, but the one thing to note about fish emulsion is that it has a very fishy smell. So you're doing your plants indoors in an enclosed space, just be aware of that smell that will be present. So all I'm gonna do is water this, bring this under the grow lights, and take them outside when they're ready. These are sweet pepper varieties. My hot peppers take a little longer and they haven't gotten to this stage yet, but the process still applies. Once they're 2 to 3 inches tall, have 2 to 3 sets of true leaves, and they look nice and healthy, then from the same selection I'm going to do the same process to put them into bigger pots, water them, put them under the grow lights until they are ready to go outside. One key thing I would mention before you transplant your seedlings outside is be sure to harden them, and that is just acclimating your plants to the temperatures they'll be facing outside throughout the summer. You do that gradually over time before you actually transplant them in the ground. For example, if you have a day where you have 50 degrees, then maybe you take your seedlings outside, and when there's mild sun, not really scorching sun, and put them there for an hour the first day, then bring them back inside. And then the next day you can put them outside for an hour and a half and then bring them back inside. And you do that so they get used to the heat of the sun, but they also get used to the wind and all the conditions that they would face if they were naturally outside, which is where they would eventually be. And that's how you harden off your plants and give them a good chance of being healthy and surviving the natural environment that they would face outside. So there you have it. That's how I uppot my peppers. It's the same thing if you were to uppot hot peppers or tomatoes or any other plants. It's pretty much the same process. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you get a good harvest in your garden this year. If you haven't started anything yet to plant, if you're hoping to garden, it's not too late. It might be late to start seeds, but you can always get seedlings from your local grocery store and kick off your garden season that way. Please like, share, Write in the comment section below some of the experiences that have been a success to you and what you've learned in growing peppers. I would like to learn from you guys as well. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.